Good morning, everybody. We are getting to the end of the Dennis Kirk FXLR sweepstakes project. And this morning, Jaden and Jack are doing what's called a vehicle alignment on an FXR. I thought this might be interesting for you guys to see how this is done. An FXR, one of the things that makes it such a great riding motorcycle is the motor and the transmission and the swing arm and the rear wheel are all floating. They're suspended on rubber mounts, which makes it a rubber mounted motorcycle. There's two motor mounts. There's one like this, and then on the other side there's another one just like it. And then there's one in the front right here where Jaden is making adjustments to these heim joints. And then there's an upper stabilizer link that is the upper motor mount here. Then there's a lower stabilizer link that goes transverse across the motor. And one basically does this way, back side to side. And then the other one makes sure that the motor sits straight up and down inside of the chassis. So what we're doing with these two perfectly straight fluorescent light tubes, that's how we do it. We mount it to the rear wheel after we make sure that the wheel is straight in the swing arm. So what we'll do is we'll put degree indicators on a flat surface on the wheel, and then we'll do it on the flat surface of the front rotor. So that way we can make sure that the motor top to bottom like this is transverse, right, is parallel, right? And then the tubes, we'll do the same thing side to side, so we can make sure that the front wheel and the rear wheel are perfectly in line and parallel, which tells us that the drivetrain is perfectly parallel. And then the motor wants to stand straight up and down. We'll make sure that it's at 0 degrees, and then we'll mount this heim joint through this hole. We'll adjust this link right here, so it will basically keep the drivetrain, again, perfectly straight up and down and perfectly straight where the wheels are perfectly aligned. It's really an interesting process. We've been doing it, for decades, but it's kind of an old school way that we do it. We made these little lifts with holes through them so the tubes can run through them. And Jaden right now is making his adjustments. So Jack and Jaden have already adjusted the degrees to 0. I made sure that the motor is perfectly plumb. And now we'll tighten all this stuff up and put the rubber mounts in. And this gal, when you're doing 50 down the road and you take your hands off the handlebars, she'll track straight down the road. Should be this week. We're hoping to get the rear wheel in back from Chrome. It's one of the last pieces we're waiting for. We've got a Thunder header coming in today for the bike. I got to put the tank back on and a few more little pieces, but we're getting very close to firing this girl off. Stay tuned.